Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the Dallas Cowboys, Joel Embiid, and then for our Friday special, we're going to be covering dating horror stories. Before we start, though, I'd like to ask that you like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tip and donation link is GSMCpodcast.net. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. I'm still trying to get used to that. No link.
The new link makes it so much easier.
Yeah, but when you're in the flow of something for a while and then it gets changed, you got to get out of the flow of the last one and into the flow of the new one. So
I wait, and it's gonna change. It's literally gonna change. It should change any second, and
Right?
you're gonna have to make it. You're gonna have to change it
Learn a new
again.
one.
If you notice, even when you look at the ticker, I'm like, it's gonna change so soon. You didn't even notice that the ticker
No.
changed. Yeah. So if you look at the ticker. Also, yesterday, speaking of ticker, I'm going back and I'm watching the show, and the ticker didn't work. It was stuck.
The what?
The ticker at the bottom of,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
it was stuck yesterday, and I checked it in the system. I'm like, nope, this was all Face doing.
Everything's my fault.
Faith did not want to say GSMCpodcast.net, so you froze it right before it says GSMCpodcast.net.
Oh.
I'm like, okay,
Oops.
I'm just joking. I'm not blaming Faith.
Well, how
How
are
are
you
you
today?
doing?
I'm okay. I'm good.
I'm good. I woke, like I was just telling you before we got on here. I woke up at I think it was like
Huge.
one something in the morning. uh, I watched a bunch of like stuff on YouTube and all that,
And
and
TikTok.
TikTok and everything
I got
else.
some videos from you on TikTok. It was my time, like 4:30 in the morning.
I am very sorry, but I kind of operate in first off, I'm on, which would be pretty much Greenwich Mean Time. It's not really, it's the time zone. I forget what it's called, but Greenwich Mean Time is the most standard one you can say. So I'm Greenwich Mean Time, where you're East Coast time.
Yeah.
So I got 5 hours ahead of you, and then I'm like a vampire who wakes up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm, like, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm in the kitchen. I'm making food. I'm flipping stuff. I got stuff in the air fryer. I'm watching, like, it is like 3 in the
Your wife
afternoon.
must be a heavy sleeper.
Oh yeah. I got the TV on. Oh yeah, no, I had me a full midnight breakfast. Everything. And she's never the wiser. She is out.
As long as you don't wake her up, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, okay. What? Nah, this is another story I'll tell you off air. It's one of those off air. If we ever have the after hours show, it's a must tune in, because this is all the stuff that I don't want to say. I will say the faith behind the scenes that I don't say on air, and I say enough on air.
I think we both do, honestly. I think we both say enough on air.
Yeah, I sent you a TikTok and someone did a blooper. Did you see? It was like
Yeah.
a blooper. And the reason why I sent it to you, because of some of the bloopers that we have on this show, is just like, wow, that's us. Anyway, let's see what we got going on today.
Alrighty, so will the Cowboys really be all in or expect more of the same during the 2024 offseason? The most notable Dallas Cowboys related topic to come out of the Senior Bowl late last month consisted of 2 words: all in. We'll be going all in, Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones said. I would say that you will see us this coming year not building for the future. That's the best way I know how to say it. That ought to answer a lot of questions. It's a refreshing statement considering it came a couple weeks after one of the most disappointing losses in franchise history, 48-32 at the hands of the Green Bay Packers in the wild card round of the playoffs. But what type of actions will actually follow these words? Judging by what Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones said Tuesday from the league's annual scouting combine, it doesn't sound like business will be much different from previous off seasons. Now, I know that you are a Cowboys fan. So, what were your thoughts on all of this?
Okay. Here's the thing. I have no problem with the philosophy that they're all in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know that Jerry's been all in for the last decade or two.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry's been chasing that Super Bowl for a while. And I think they do a great job. They draft well. They re-sign a lot of their players. They do a really good job. But the problem is, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jerry says anything, there's tons of owners out there that say all kind of stuff. Nobody even picks up a pencil to write it down. But you know what I mean? Good Lord. If you could see some of the things Jim Irsay says, you get the vapors. And Jim Irsay is the Colts owner, and he's had a bit of a interesting past, let's just say. Special pass. Okay. Everyone can do their own research and make their own fill in the blank there on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're the owner of the Dallas Cowboys and you're saying, hey, we're all in, you see how you go to the Senior Bowl. Hey, we're all in. Hey, are you still all in, Jerry? Hey, you go Micah Parsons. Hey, Jerry says he's all in. You go to the draft. Hey, Jerry said he's all in. That will keep coming up week after week, month after month. You're going to be mid-season, and it's going to be like, hey, Jerry, are you still all in? I mean, because when you're the most popular franchise maybe in the world, it just, everyone, you're under the microscope.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I mean about how the words of Jerry Jones put extra pressure on the Dallas Cowboys players and ownership and staff that other people do not have to have. You look at some of the things that happened throughout the season and things. Since starting this job, how many times have you heard about Jerry Jones saying that the Dallas Cowboys are all in?
At least like 4 or 5 times.
Exactly.
And it's
how many times have you heard the Atlanta Falcons coach statement or the Kansas City Chiefs owner, or any owner? No one cares about what they say. You know what I mean? But everyone cares what the heck Jerry says. And this is not the last time we're gonna hear, but this is the senior. They're just getting ready. They're the senior event. And that's an article. Hey, we gotta write about this. Jerry says he's still in. Let's go ask his son.
It's just the whole all in statement is like, okay, why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't any football team be all in? I don't understand why this is such a...
Because it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to bring up or throw shade on anyone, because I'm a fan of both of these guys. You see how much before the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl, and after the Super Bowl, we're all in. We're all in. Are you still all in, Jerry? Jerry, listen to what's going on with all in. Travis Kelce got upset, ran over to Andy Reid, almost knocked Andy Reid over. He's 235 and a half years old. And that story is over. That story is absolutely, you know, you have definitely heard more about, hey, we're all in for this season.
Yeah.
It's like Andy Reid getting ran over by Travis Kelce.
Old news.
Old news. Taylor Swift made it to the Super Bowl. That's over.
Old news.
But Jerry saying we're all in, does that mean you're signing Dak to a $67 million contract? Are you doing this, bringing this person in? And then it's like you go to the draft and it's like, hey, you drafted this guy. Is that why didn't you sign the veteran? I thought you were all in. It's just so much. Then you have a player maybe didn't have such a great year. Hey, are you going to be on the Cowboys this year? Jerry says he's all in and you may not fit in. Are you going to be tossed aside? That's that extra pressure. That, do you see what I mean about how it just puts it makes it harder so that the Cowboy players can play incredibly well during the regular season, but everyone keeps asking about the Cowboys. Is this the year? Are you going to make it?
Yeah.
So then the playoffs happen, and it's like, oh God, this is what everyone's been talking to us about since before the season.
It definitely.
Now you're stressed out.
It definitely puts them under a microscope. I will say that, and
absolutely,
lots of pressure with that as well.
It's kind of like, hey, Faith, I'm calling off on Monday. You're going to be carrying the show. Don't screw up.
That's just asking for me to screw up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now imagine your boyfriend. Hey, Faith, you got the show on Monday. Don't screw up now. Everyone's looking at you. Your mom, your aunt, your uncles, your cousins, even strangers. Hey, Faith, good luck on the show on Monday. I know you're by yourself. Don't screw up.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's cancel Christmas again.
Cancel Christmas. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Well, think about it. It's like every media market in the country, and whenever they get in front of a Cowboy player, what are they asking about?
Are you all in still?
Exactly. You see how that makes you now playoffs, there's no big deal, regular season, and that brings on, great regular season. But everyone's like, yeah, you're having a great season, but playoffs is what it matters because Jerry said you're all in.
Yeah.
So playoff get here and you're like you sweating, everything, because the next thing you know, you're getting dog walked by the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. That is why I don't like it. Now, you got to admit, you probably didn't hear dog walk a lot. Now you hear it all the time.
Getting dog walked by the Packers.
But you see how Jerry does not mean to add undue pressure, and other owners make statements as well. They just don't carry the same weight as when Jerry Jones says it. And it's just good media. You just got to write Jerry Jones on the thing. You're gonna get a few extra views just because you got Jerry Jones in the title. Dallas Cowboys in the title. If you say LeBron James, Jerry Jones, you want to have a heck of a game, a heck of a show. Have Jerry Jones get slapped by LeBron James. Everyone's gonna be tuning in.
I'd watch it.
See, look at you. You're gonna find out what happened. Look, I wanted to see what happened when Cam Newton was slinging people around, let alone. So that's all I'm saying on that one.
I mean, it just seems so like such an obvious statement, and so I don't understand why this statement keeps getting repeated. Like, every football team's all in, right? Or they try to be, to try and get to where.
Because here is the difference. If the athletic director at the University of Georgia said, we're all in for the 2024 season, I don't even think that'd make the Georgia newspaper. Georgia University, duh. But Jerry Jones says it. It's every week, all week for a year. It's a big difference. Everyone assumes when Nick Saban was with Alabama. Did you ever look at a year when Nick Saban was Alabama that wasn't like, we're all in for winning the championship for this year? You knew Nick Saban was all in for the championship this year. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't going to be a big story. Everyone knows it. Jerry Jones, though, every player, even the kicker, nobody talks to the kicker. But they're going to pull him aside because they want to see, like, hey, are you all in? Because Jerry's all in. How's the big toe?
how's the big toe? Jeez.
It's a different world when it comes to the Cowboys. So that's what I was just saying. It's just too much. There's a lot of pressure, and it's hard being the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I would say so. It's hard being a fan too, right?
No, see, I don't look at it that way. Everyone wants to beat up on my Cowboys, but in my lifetime, I've saw my Cowboys win multiple Super Bowls. I grew up in Cleveland. I know people, their grandmama ain't never seen the Browns win anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about being a New York Jets fan? It's like,
Lions.
The Lions. I've seen you know what? I can say, hey, I saw them win a few of them.
They've at least gone good. Once, okay?
We're in the playoffs almost every other year. I've seen them win a few Super Bowls. I'm playing with house money. But if you're a Detroit Lion fan or a Cleveland Browns fan, you got to be like, dang.
Guys, I don't want to talk about the Lions. I'm still upset about that.
See, this is the thing, America. Faith is now a Detroit Lions fan by way of Georgia. And see, and that's how fandom starts. And you know what? They're going to be really good this year. And so it makes it even. And guess what? If the coach or the owner said, we're all in for this season, no one would care. All right, I'll let it go now.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about Joel Embiid talks knee injury return timeline. So you guys stick around.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing will the Cowboys really be all in or expect more of the same during the 2024 offseason.
I thought we were talking about each other's hair.
And now we're going to be talking about the 76ers Joel Embiid talks knee injury return timeline. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions that come from the viewers. Oh my gosh, let me start over. You've got
she used to be so smooth as butter.
You got me messed up.
She's like chunky peanut butter.
I would just like to ask that you guys like and follow the show.
Wow.
We get
See,
a number of
all in.
questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
And the super chat button's coming too soon.
Yeah. I'm blaming you for that. That was your fault.
That's that pressure. Just, you know what I mean? Little changes.
It's not
Just
even
like,
no, it was you distracting me while we were on break.
you know, face hair is on point. And then she brought up the fact that, you know, I'm 3 weeks into not cutting my hair or clipping my beard or anything. And this is what it looks like for 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks of not doing anything. Monday, all this is gone.
He's going to be bald.
Again, for another 3 weeks. It's like Groundhog Day for the face.
3 more weeks of winter.
So I have not reached puberty, so it takes me a long time to grow facial hair.
Oh, goodness. All right. So the 76ers, Joel Embiid talks knee injury return timeline. He says, if I feel good, I'm playing. Philadelphia 76ers star center Joel Embiid still doesn't have a timeline for his return to the court after undergoing meniscus surgery, but he is optimistic that he'll be back during the regular season. Embiid said, it's the same mindset. If I feel good, I'm playing. Embiid underwent a procedure on his left knee on February 6th, and the Sixers announced at the time that he would be reevaluated in 4 weeks. He suffered the injury to his meniscus during a game against the Golden State Warriors on January 30th. He had been forced to miss matchups against the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers before the Warriors game due to a lingering knee issue. Embiid said Thursday that he didn't feel pressured to return against Golden State, but he felt the need to get the team back on track because Philadelphia was riding on a 3-game losing streak at the time. So, and the Sixers have gone 4-8 since Embiid went down, and they rank 6th in the Eastern Conference with a 33-25 record.
If I am the general manager for the 76ers, I'm slipping the doctor a couple of stacks. Listen, Doc.
Some bands.
You need to trust the process, okay? I don't want Joel Embiid coming back anytime soon.
Why is that?
Okay, Joel Embiid is arguably, in some people's eyes, could be the best player in basketball. Joel Embiid is also the MVP. He was favored to win the MVP this year. Joel Embiid, the same guy who has had an injury issue. He's a man that is a very big man, coming off a very serious injury. I am not rushing him back. What tends to happen, first off, when you rush a player back, or anyone, they tend to overcompensate because of the injury. They put a lot more weight on another leg or shift things and do things like that, which tends to a lot of times end up with a catastrophic injury on another leg, kind of like Klay Thompson when he got injured. Listen, this isn't their year. I am making sure Joel Embiid is the 76ers. They are nothing without him. They are not a playoff contender. They're not an NBA championship contender whatsoever without him. He's still relatively young. I want to make sure I'm protecting my future at the cost of my present. Meaning, I'm not rushing it. Like, you have to protect the player from himself. Meaning, yes, he wants to get back out there. He wants to contend this year for a title, things like that. Well, protecting him from what he wants. And that is, I want to make sure you are fully healthy. I want to make sure that you are fully healed, that you're not overcompensating. I want to slowly bring you back. An injury like that, a surgery like that, sure, you can be back in a couple of months, a few weeks, but are you putting more pressure on the other leg? Are you standing different? Things like that, where you're gonna blow out an Achilles or something else, or you're gonna have a major setback. Take your time. Do not rush him back. I would shut his butt down for the whole year. We're gonna scrap this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. This is their only all-star they have. This guy, they're not even a playoff team without him. They're a championship contending team with him. Yes, it costs you this year, but making sure that your future is taken care of for years to come is just way more important. I use the best example, I know it's different sports, is this is back when the Washington football team used to be called the Redskins, and they had Robert Griffin the third, and he was rookie of the year, and he hurt his knee, and they had the Nike kind of campaign, and it was kind of that all in for next year. Matter of fact, I think it might have was that he was all in for next year. Like he was going to be back, or like they wanted him back, and they rushed him back, and it derailed his career. He is out of the league. He went from being the best rookie. Him and Andrew Luck are the best two rookies that come through in many years, to can't even get a job strictly because they rushed him back. They forced this to come early. Now you're talking about a guy that's 7 foot. When you're that long and lanky and you're that size, a lot of injuries can happen. I'm protecting him. That is my blue chip stock. I'm not letting him go out there unless I am 100%. I got him, I have a slow process for getting him in. And if I'm bringing him back this year, he's on a minute restriction. I don't care if it's game 7. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you went 1 minute over. Your butt is out. No, you have to protect him from himself, because I tell you what, you lose Joel Embiid and that process is over. There is nothing left for the 76ers but to completely rebuild. Mm-hmm. If he gets majorly injured, everything is on his shoulders. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does make sense.
And I know for an athlete who, athletes are supposed to want to play hurt and play injured, and they leave it all out on the field.
I don't know why they not necessarily force them, but kind of persuade them to go back and keep playing after they've had a injury like this, because one bad thing could happen and then you lose your best player for...
It's this whole mentality, this whole sometimes male ego thing where it's just like, you got to play hurt. You got to be able to want to get out there. Mm-hmm. If Joel Embiid says, you know what, I really just want to take my time and gradually come back in and maybe even wait till next year, the media would destroy him. They would call him soft and weak and everything else. That's the reason why, as a general manager in an organization, you have to protect your investment. And when I say investment, Joel Embiid is worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the organization. You have to protect that. Long term, you want your player to be with you for years to come. You can rush him back now and then cost him years on the back end. I look at like Derrick Rose. I many times I've wondered what would have happened if the Bulls would have just taken their time and just said, you know what, we're gonna bring him back incredibly slow. We're gonna make sure that he is 100%. Or Grant Hill. How great would these guys be? Hall of Famers if they were just taken a different approach with them and just said slow, a year, 2 years, slowly bring them back because these are serious injuries and there are hundreds of millions of dollars at stake and your entire future at stake. I say take your time, bring them back slowly. I think more teams need to do this. And some of the statistics, like the analytics on it, why like people are studying LeBron and how he's managed his body because he's 20 years and he's figured out the secret sauce of, hey, LeBron is doing this. He started doing this at this age. Now people are starting to get massage. It used to be no one ever got massages. Now everyone gets massages. Everyone's getting this. People are noticing, hey, I got to do my nutrition right. I got to get massages in. I got to work on my flexibility. I work on my strength. This is all things that players are figuring out so that they can have longer careers. Well, one of the things is making sure that players don't overwork themselves or come back too soon. Injuries take time to recover from. And when you're talking, this is not your third or fourth player. This is Joel Embiid. This is your franchise. If Joel Embiid comes back too soon, he gets injured, it's 20 years before the 76ers are good again. Mm. That's why I am taking my time with Joel Embiid, especially because of his past history. He's had a lot of injuries. He's a very big man. No, I'm protecting him from himself. So no, I'm not having him come back early. I know a lot of people, 76ers fans, they want a championship. Everybody wants a championship. So it's all or nothing. Everything is all or nothing, now or never. Well, as a general manager and a front office, you can't be a fan. You have to look and say, what is the business decision that works best for the organization? And rushing Joel Embiid back is not a good business decision.
Mm-hmm. I agree, especially since before he injured his meniscus, he was already having pain in his knee before.
He was hobbling around, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then he just kept playing and then hurt his meniscus. And so I also agree that they should give him the time that he needs and the rest, because the body's got to heal, man, and the body can only go so fast,
Yeah. Rest the body up, the knee, the back. He is a very big man. I'm sorry, you're not going to win the championship this year. Only thing you can do is rush him back so that you can get knocked out of the playoffs, in my eyes. Mm-hmm. But you can rest him up, get him ready for next year, maybe bring some other weapons with him. But I just don't think and there's no benefit. He can't win the MVP. He was the favorite to win the MVP, but now, because of the rule, even if he had the greatest year ever, the rest of the year, he's not eligible for the MVP or any other award. Mm-hmm. So do what's best for the franchise and what's best for the player. Protect the player. No, I'm not bringing him in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Rest that leg, and all you 76ers fans, don't be pressuring this man to go back on the court until he's ready.
Trust the process, because that was their whole thing when they first got him. It was, trust the process. Well, you got to trust the process a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. It's hard to win a championship, but forcing a guy to come back way before he's ready on a team that is that's even with him there, I don't think they have a shot at winning a championship. Yeah. Especially coming back. I'd rather use that time to rest him up so that he's ready to go when they can contend next year.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're gonna we're gonna
It's
take
about
a
to get
quick
good.
break, and when we come back, we're doing our Friday special of dating horror stories.
Looking forward to it.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing Joel Embiid, and now we're going to be diving into our Friday special of dating horror stories. I'm going to put your business out there, though, since you be putting my business out there all the time. Tate's hungry, y'all.
Not only that, I've already had 2 meals already. Not one, but 2. I'm
probably
thinking
'cause you
about
were-
that 3rd meal.
Probably because you ate at like 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why
I ate
You had-
about 1:30.
you had first breakfast and second breakfast. You're like a hobbit.
And so now it's almost 1 p.m. here, which is what, 6 a.m. I mean 7, 8 a.m. Almost 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I haven't
By
even
the
had
time-
my first meal.
I'm gonna knock out 3 meals before you even get to your first meal. Dang. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say.
Ooh, okay, so Friday special, we have our dating horror stories.
Warm those
so-
hands up a little bit in front of the fire here.
So, I found the ones that we're going to be talking about on a Reddit thread. So these are a little long, but I want you to stay with me because it gets even better when you don't think it could
Are you
get
telling
any
me?
better.
I was just talking about warming the hands up. You're telling me these are a slow burn?
A little bit, yeah. Slow burn. The slow burn ones are good though.
All
Be
right.
patient. Okay.
I got
All right.
it.
So, let's see who submitted this. Their account's deleted, so never mind. Deleted submitted this to Reddit. They said, I met some guy on Reddit. This story almost makes me yearn for the days my boundaries were non-existent because it means I got into some crazy stuff. He seemed a tad quirky. He didn't own a cell phone, for instance. I asked him to meet at one of my favorite coffee shops. I find him there. He has a laptop, but it's like 20 years old. I'm shocked it connects to the Wi-Fi. He doesn't drink coffee. He's sitting there drinking milk from a plastic cup. I ask him to go outside. I can tell he's not showered. I'm sitting downwind. It's not great.
Whoa. Oh.
I tried to go, but we ended up walking past his truck, and he pulls out some flowers for me. But not ones he's bought, ones he's picked from the side of the street, like a 5-year-old. He wants to hang out.
He's an enterprising man so far. Captain Sniff a lot.
He wants to hang out longer, so he pulls out this telescope and we go for a little walk. He has pockets full of Starburst candy and he keeps offering them to me. It's too cloudy to use the telescope and also still daytime. I try to hurry the walk up at this point. I found it odd that despite him not owning a cell phone, he had pretty much every possible electronic known to man in his backpack. Tablet, laptop, Kindle, gaming system, everything. So strange. We circle back to the truck. I try to say goodbye, but he really wants to hang out longer and his face is super sad. So I say, I need a ride to the pet fish store. Because I did. It was an errand for the afternoon. So I get into his truck, ankle deep in empty 5-hour energy shots. He drives me 15 minutes to the local fish store where we look at fish and I purchase driftwood. I guess I'm somewhat hopeful. Maybe I could convince myself this wasn't a terrible waste of time. At this point, it's dark and he keeps trying to touch me, but also recall he was unshowered and it was gross. He thought I was an amazing catch because I played BioShock, which I don't know what that is. Also, we get hungry, so I recommend we eat somewhere quick because I want to get out ASAP, but still don't know how to pull this parachute. We stood by the slice kind of place. He makes me pay for my own $2 slice of pizza after ordering his own, which is a little awkward. He asks me if I think they have milk. I say no. He asks them if they have milk. They don't. He pulls out of his cargo pants an enormous container of garlic salt and asks me if I want any. He offers to give me a ride home, but I lie and say I'm close and walk home 2 miles in the dark by myself to try and decompress because holy hell, I should have left 4 hours ago. He leaves me a voicemail from his parents' landline saying he had a great time. I messaged him on Reddit and said we won't be hanging out again.
Nah, you gave mixed signals. Let me tell you something. If I'm over here, I show up at your house, I'm drinking on some milk. I'm picturing those like elementary school milk.
Okay.
He's drinking on.
Yeah.
Smelling like blue funk.
Who as an adult just drinks milk like it's nothing? Like, I like milk, don't get me wrong, but the only time you'll see me with a glass of milk is with Oreos. Or if I'm like eating cereal, you know?
One of my best friends, they're a couple. They're like my brother. They're like brother and sister to me. They literally go through, I think, like 3 to 4 gallons of milk each a week.
A week?
A week.
3 to 4 gallons of milk.
They each get their own. They get like 6 to 8 gallons a week because they're knocking off like almost a gallon a day. For all their meals, they get those big giant, glass jars. They keep them in the freezer and they fill them up with milk, and that's what they do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They knock off that milk. They love milk. Granted. And that was just one, because they're the only people I know that drink milk like this. But my man here, he got that to go. It's a little different. That's in their privacy of their own home. He's showing
he does
up.
that out in public.
My man, he walks up there. He takes a whiff, takes a swig off of that vitamin D.
Probably the milk sweats from all the dairy he's having. My
he takes
God.
a swig off that vitamin D and walks right up to her. You know what I mean?
We got a comment. Someone says, "I love y'all's synergy. Y'all are so funny." Thank you.
What's the person's name?
C2 SCO. I don't know how to.
C2 SEO or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing but love. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I bet you, if a dude came up to C2 or a woman, I don't make no judgment here, and he smells like paprika and leftover garlic while sipping on milk. That is not someone.
Literally, that combination of like having major BO while carrying a gigantic thing of garlic salt in your cargo pants shorts.
Yeah, no.
I don't even.
Who you going out with first? The milk and garlic powder guy who smells like buck nuggets, or the bacon and shotgun shells guy. Who are you going out with?
This is like the worst Sophie's Choice ever. I think, honestly, I think I would go for the bacon and shotgun shell guys, because,
Yes.
he knows what's up, and if I need something, he's going to go down to Walmart
He's
and
a
get me whatever I
provider.
need. So,
Now, do you agree that this woman, because my man knows what time it is.
listen.
If you know you're smelling bad and everything else, and then you're like, she says he's trying to touch her and everything, and it seems like she's like, no, no, no. But she's like, I will take a ride over to the aquarium shop. He's like, I'm in it to win it now. He's a
Listen.
contender.
Tate, as a woman going on dates, it's a difficult process going on dates as a woman, and for some reason we feel guilty when we don't like the guy, so we try to make it work because we don't want to hurt their feelings or anything like that. So we'll continue with the first date until the first date is over, and then we won't go on another one. And so I feel her pain. I've never had a date this bad, but I have stayed on a first date when I didn't want to be
See,
nice.
last week you were talking about the dude that brought the woman to the restaurant, but not to the restaurant dumpster. Now this one, women. Let cousin Tate talk to y'all. When in doubt, throw their butts out. I'm just letting y'all know. You agreed to have coffee with my man.
Mm-hmm. And he's drinking milk. He's not even drinking coffee.
Shows up with his own milk. He's taking a swig off of his drink. And you know what? I'm sorry. It was really nice meeting you. It's not you. It's me.
Listen, also, don't trust anyone who doesn't have a cell phone but has literally everything else except a cell phone, like laptop, Kindle, tablet, gaming software, whatever, but he doesn't have a cell phone. That's
all that stuff's older
psychotic.
stuff.
That's psychotic to me.
I think I got a whole different story in my head. I think he swung by the Goodwill and they had a clearance and he had bought up a bunch of stuff because they were saying like the laptop didn't even seem like it had Wi-Fi or something like that. His phone didn't have Wi-Fi.
He didn't have a phone. He called her from his parents' landline and left her a voicemail.
Weren't you the girl that's talking about how long you lived with your parents?
I had my own cell phone, first of all. Second of all, I only lived with my parents for 2 years after I graduated high school.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Don't be throwing me shade, okay? There's people on this planet that live with their parents until they die, so...
Listen, I'm telling y'all, it is like, they've been looking at some of the studies and things. It is better to stay, I was one of those, I left way early. Mm-hmm. You are off to a better start if you can hang with the family a little bit longer. You get off to you have a better jump off point in life. So I'm not throwing shade at you. I had to throw that at you. But milk does the can't anymore. Captain Milk does the body good, man. I'm sorry, bro. First rule: shower before your date.
Yes, shower every day. What is it with people not showering?
Ooh, we got to look this up. There was a study done, and they were talking about there are certain people in a country, a very popular country, and they don't change their undergarments for weeks at a time. Weeks. That's
absolutely vile.
Listen, you can either listen. I got mine. I'm like a NASCAR pulling in. I want fresh underwear on at all times. Yank those ones off, throw in another bed. Let's go.
That's so gross.
Yeah, you don't show up. Do not show up for your date without a couple of things: a fresh shower, and brushing your teeth.
And that.
If you haven't done those two things,
and put deodorant on. Put deodorant on, please. I'm begging you. Put deodorant on.
Listen, Listen, I'm with you on the deodorant, but you need a shower. You got to brush the teeth. Those are the two before any date. Everything else can be optional.
Especially if all you're drinking is milk. Yes, please brush your teeth.
No, fake. He drinking milk and he got a big old
Garlic
giant thing of garlic salt. You know he's stinky.
All right. You want me to read some of the comments on here?
Yes, let me hear this.
Okay. Someone said, please accept this award on behalf of any and all of us who have struggled with boundaries at some point. You were a trooper. This is the funniest thing I have read in a long time. Absolute gold.
You got to say no. You gotta hit him. You gotta hit him with that Heisman.
Someone said, never trust someone grown who drinks glasses of milk anywhere but their own home. It's one of the lower ranking red flags.
Much love for you, my man. You know, you drinking milk in the privacy of your own home, in a cafeteria. But you show up at the local feed and fuel on your date, and you asking for some vitamin D milk. That is a low grade red flag right there.
I bet you it's whole milk too. It's not even like 2% or skim. He would definitely be the one to drink straight up whole milk by itself.
Yes, I'm telling you. And then he probably got a couple of Nestle Quick packages in his jacket.
Oh gosh, jeez. Someone else said, what is up with people not showering? Get it together.
You'd be surprised how many, and listen, as a guy who did some dating in his life, that works both ways. That knife swings.
No, I know
ways.
that. I know that.
Oh, there is nothing worse than you're like, man, I got a date with Becky and Becky banging. Becky shows up, everything on point, everything looking good, and it's
B.O. Becky.
The B, man, and it is like, and you look at her and you can tell she just squeezed into that dress, just barely made it. She didn't have enough. I figured she just didn't have enough room for her deodorant and that dress. The deodorant would have put it right over the top. You know?
Oh, gosh.
Just saying. Go ahead now.
So he leaves a voicemail from his parents' landline saying that he had a great time. I knew this was coming before the halfway point. I could read these stories all day.
Okay. I want to know, how did she know it was a landline?
He didn't have a phone, so maybe he said in the voicemail, "Hey, I'm calling you."
This is you can reach me at Mama's house. I'm over at Mama's. I've been staying there for the last 6 months. Here's her number. Our answer machine will pick up. You gotta say a couple of words, and we'll hear you, and we'll pick up in the back.
God. Yeah.
Okay. What else do we have here?
That's really about it for this one. I was going to suggest we take a break and come back and do another one.
All right. Sorry, we took a little long on this one, but
yeah, it's
that was
fine.
just too good. That's too good to pass up there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to keep talking about some dating horror stories. Brush your teeth. Take a shower.
I'm with you on that one.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were talking about dating horror stories, and we're just gonna dive right into the next story. This was posted by Grindstein on a Reddit subreddit, Ask Reddit. It's like serious dating stories.
Okay.
So, said I will try to keep this short as possible. I'm taking serious as true, not as serious topic, as this is obviously humorous, and he is calling it the black bean soup incident. I went to a small engineering college, and there were like 9 girls in my program, one of which was extremely hot and very cool. I was neither, but can be funny, and I use that to my advantage. Over the course of 6 months, I slowly woo her to the point where I am fairly confident that she will say yes upon asking her out. This was in the 90s, by the way, when you still had to manually ask girls out. A few more weeks go by, and I finally ask her out, and she accepts. I am completely smitten with this girl. I pick her up at her sorority house, which is an awkward deal if you've never done it before, because a dozen girls answer the door to check you out. I take her to the best restaurant I can find / afford, and so far everything is going great. I order a bowl of soup. I order a bowl of the soup of the day and an entree. She orders something inconsequently to the story. As you can guess, the soup du jour is black bean soup. The waiter is much more attractive to me, late 20s guy who is obviously scooping my date instead of flirting with her. So my machonism
Machismo.
Yeah, God. I'm gonna fly past that. The machismo is activated so much that when said waiter suggests I order the cup of soup versus bowl, as their bowls are very large, I take it as a shot across the bow of my fragile masculinity and insist that I can handle the bowl. The bowl is delivered, and it is more of a tureen. You could have easily fed a family of 4 with leftovers, and now my dumb A has to not only finish it, but do so acting like it's normal to eat a gallon of soup, as I made a big deal of it. I eat the soup, and I'm already Thanksgiving stuffed when they bring out my entree, which I obviously have to eat as well, or admit to handsome waiter and date that I am an idiot with such a fragile ego that I can't take an obvious suggestion. Despite my obvious physical discomfort, my date cannot seem to tell that I am so uncomfortable that I may explode from either end at any instance. Furthermore, as I get up to use the bathroom, my date asks if we can stop by her sorority house on the way to our movie so she can pick up a sweater for the cold theater. Despite the obvious, I say no problem, and we get up to leave. As I'm walking to the car, I get what feels like a knife to my belt line, followed by a gurgling noise as 8 pounds of you know what are transferred from my intestines to my colon. I'm still not worried though, as we drive to her place, as it's like 5 minutes to the theater. We get to her sorority house, and she asks if I need to come inside for anything. I would like to think she wanted to fool around, but I think she has now picked up on my situation, probably from my profuse sweating and silence. No, I'm fine. And she heads inside to get her coat and do God knows what else, because she's in there for what feels like an hour. Then another sharp pain, another gurgle. I have now sweat literally through my clothes as I realize that I have to use the bathroom, and I have to use the bathroom now.
Oh no.
I get up and run to the front door, which isn't helping my situation any, as I desperately scramble to fling open the front door to the sorority house, locked of course. It's too late. I run around to the side of the house.
Oh no. Release the hounds.
Drop my pants and proceed
No.
to go to the bathroom, pressing my back hard against the side of the building in an attempt to keep from contaminating myself. I was not successful, though I immediately felt physically better. As I put myself back together, I realized in sheer terror that both my shoes and lower pants
Gotta walk away.
have been splattered. I start putting together a plan of action, run to the car, run home, explain later. When I was heading to my car, I spot my date sitting patiently in the passenger seat.
Oh, no. Oh, hell no. No. Mm-mm.
Somehow, on the spot, I come up with what I thought at the time was a brilliant excuse that I also have to stop by my house to change as I stepped in dog poo while relieving myself on the side of her sorority house. She spared me from having to explain why I could not wait to use the bathroom at the theater. I assume she was distracted by the horrible odor in the car, but more likely, she knew the truth. Whatever the case, the angel did not make me elaborate on anything, and we had a great time the rest of the evening.
That girl, no, okay. Okay, there's a lot. First off,
It's a lot to unpack, yeah.
if you got to release the hounds on the side of the building.
The sorority house, no less. Sorority house, no less.
Okay, first off, when I came back to the car and I saw her waiting in the car, Faith, I just toss the keys in the car and I leave town. I don't even come back.
Go to the movie by yourself.
No, I don't want the car no more. I don't want to talk to you no more. Here you go. Doses. I'm out.
Yeah, this is pretty rough.
Okay, first off, guys, this whole machismo thing, be confident in who you are. Now you over here, you're a fool in the first place. You got a little insecure and in your feelings because some guy was flirting with your girl. It's actually a compliment, meaning your girl is so fine that he is checking out your girl. Mm-hmm. So then you're gonna be so insecure that you're gonna order you the big gulp equivalent
Big gulp
of black bean soup. Listen, just take the small cup, or
don't order black bean soup at all if you're on a date. In my opinion,
here's one. You see, they bring over, the big old vat of black bean soup, and you're like, dang, dude, you were not lying. This is way too much. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you know this right now. I am very sorry, but can you get me a smaller one? Or I'm not going to eat this, man. I'm going to take a couple bites. You can get this to go, or I'm going to toss it out because I got a whole other meal. Be confident in who you are.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And just be like truthful. I'm not eating 40 pounds of black bean soup today. You know what I mean? That's just a bad recipe. What are beans famous for?
Beans, the magical fruit.
Exactly. So you're going to eat 40 pounds of black beans knowing you just starting that date off. Nope, not me. I'm gonna take a couple of spoonfuls, and the rest I'm just tossing away, or I'm taking with me, or something like that.
So somebody asked, did you continue dating? And he said, we did for 6 months or so, and we're Facebook friends. So
wow,
I guess you can recover. You can recover from something like that. I don't know if I could physically go through that if that was my first date experience.
That is the second worst date I have ever heard of. One of my really, really good friends, I'm going to throw a story within a story real quick, Faith, and we'll go back to this one. He talked about how one St. Patrick's Day, people go out for St. Patrick's Day and they're drinking all the green beer and everything. But the next day, he was supposed to go to dinner with his girlfriend's family. It was the first time he's going to be meeting the family. So he goes there and he's sitting at the table with the family, and the green beer starts to churn in his belly and everything. And it's really bad. And the sister had a baby, and they were like, hey, they wanted to, go and go. He says, no, I'll go check on the baby. He goes in there and he lets it fly. And he didn't realize the baby monitor was out there. And so everyone heard him, the gastronomics.
Mortified.
Yes. And he was so embarrassed.
Irish
see,
goodbye.
you know, I walk out there and everyone's looking at me like, dude, you just blew up the monitor. I don't sit around for the dessert. I'm not sticking around for creme brulee.
I wouldn't even tell people I was leaving. I would just walk out the door and be like,
yep, there's certain times you just gotta walk away. You just take an L. Today is a loss.
take an L. Yep.
We don't never need to talk again. If you see me, I'm repentant. Let's pretend like we don't know each other, okay? All right. So give me your thoughts. I mean, on
I feel so bad for him, honestly. Like, I understand what it feels like, to be a little insecure about your physical appearance. And you're trying to do everything possible for that person to, like, think that you're really cool and make them like you. As a woman, though, I wouldn't really blink twice whether you got a cup of the black bean soup or the bowl of the black bean soup.
yeah, that doesn't
don't
say
really
you a
care
man
about
because you got a 40-gallon bucket of black bean soup.
If anything, I'm gonna look at you kind of in disgust if you're shoveling a bowl of black bean soup down and then scarfing your entree up after that. I'd be like,
You know what, though? I'm going to give him some credit. Because after eating a vat of black bean soup and eating that whole entree, you can tell he's not thinking about closing business that day. He is in it for you.
yeah.
He is totally in it for you.
Mm-hmm.
He is totally gazing into your eyes. He is not thinking.
Sweat beating down his head.
He is not thinking. He don't have no alternate plans or anything.
No,
he's only thinking about. Yes, he's just having a good time. He does not have an ulterior plan of closing business. Am I right?
No, yeah, you're definitely right. Yeah.
So that's probably why they kept on going, because he never made a move on her. He was a total gentleman the whole time until he blew up her sorority house.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. What else do you have? You have any other ones?
That's it for us today. Closing off the show on a high note.
Guys, be positive about who you are. If they've said yes, chances are there's something special about you. Just remember that you don't if you're this whole I have to be Mr. Macho or I have to be the girl. I agreed to just have coffee. Next thing you know, I'm over at the aquarium shop with them. Just be who you are. I don't want to go to the aquarium shop with you. Or this last one. Sometimes you just got to step away.
Yeah. Also, don't eat a gigantic bowl of black bean soup on your first date.
And if you are spackling up the sorority house,
it's time for you to go home.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, I've already brought you to the sorority house. I need you to get out of the car.
Yeah.
And just leave. I've already got you home. We can talk about this later.
Not talk about it later.
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I take that car back.
Take it to the dump and have them impound that thing. Honestly,
Yeah,
you probably won't be able to get that smell out of your car.
Yeah, no. It could be a brand new car. It's like I just bought the brand new Jag. And I'm not even picking it, just sitting on the side of the road there. Nope. Mm-hmm. I'm not going back.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out the show. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, presented by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on Monday. Today's Friday.
I was going to say, what?
We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't